Hello, how are you? I'm here again with you from TV Agro. My name is Freddy Vargas from the Planty Center Nursery located at kilometer 5.5 via Subacota. We wait for you. Today we are going to touch on a very important topic which is indoor plants. Everyone at home today, in the small apartment, on the farm, anywhere, in the hotel, where we work, there will always be a plant. No matter how isolated, that we do not see it on the table, in a corner, under the stairs, in the reception, in the welcome, we will always find a plant. So, today I want to talk about that topic. What plants, where, and how do we use them? Normally, receptions are places that have good light or very little light, and there is always a plant that accommodates in that space. Here, for example, we have a great variety of plants that are the chifleras, the ficus elatus, the traveling palm. We have small plants for the tables, like these bird's nest ferns. We have the well-known begonias, which we use to place in the centerpieces, at the reception or where people's creativity is present. There are people who want to make vertical walls. They are in fashion and are placed indoors, over offices. It is valid. Wherever you want to place a plant, it is always the perfect place, but the plants are accompanied by an accessory, because it is not only placing by placing. For example, this pot in a centerpiece is not going to look good. We look for the side with good light, always trying to have good light, and trying that you save the most of the time. Most of the pots are without drain. What are we looking for with this? Do not let them bring the drain. First, because you don't have to spray these pots so often. They allow the water to be stored a little longer, because the plant absorbs it little by little, very slowly. So, what this allows us to do is that instead of spraying every 2 or 3 days, we are going to do it every 8, every 15, every 20 days. There are plants that endure a lot. For example, this variegated anthurium, which produces a very beautiful white flower. We can spray it perfectly between 10 to 15 days without any problem. Sometimes people worry that they are going to be very flooded or with a lack of water, and that is, as I said, while we learn to know the plant. The first months, the first days, one always soaks, waters, and begins to calculate how often that plant has to be sprayed. Not all species have the same irrigation intensity. The ducks especially need to be watered between 15 to 20 days, but if I place an alpine violet indoors in good light, with good sun, it will be watered once or twice a week. It is important to know them. There are very dark places, so for those places it is sometimes very complicated, because the plants do not have the same duration. They will damage faster, but we all want to have a plant at home, even in the darkest place. There are some like the dracenas, the Brazilian sticks, the guarnequis, the yangri. They can bear a little. They are tolerant indoors in low light and have a good average. And plants that can last a year, 2 years, but finally, with the scarcity of use of the side in the twilight, very dark, they end up weakening. It's over. At the end of the time, it's time to change them. So, it doesn't mean that you cannot have a plant indoors or in the dark. I have the case of Sansevieras, which we know as Bolivar's sword, also known as mother-in-law's tongue, which is not a very pleasant name, but it is one of the plants that we are using a lot in bedrooms. It brings a lot of oxygenation to the environment. It is an easy plant to care for. Even with neon light, it doesn't wilt, it doesn't need water, it doesn't need a large pot. It is a plant, I think, the one of the future. It is all-terrain. Now, we are looking at the plants, looking at the side, looking at the pots. We are going to take a walk through the pots that we have, because there are many classes. We will see it now. We are here in the place where the pots are, and now there is everything. As an advantage, technology has allowed us to make polyethylene materials with wonderful figures and finishes, without a gap, as I mentioned before. This is a polyethyl pot. We have this bowl, for instance. To arrange for interior are very practical, very cute. They are not heavy, they have a very nice texture and blend into every apartment. You can place them anywhere. We have this other presentation. There are very corrugated pots. They already have a plate. It is included for people, especially the ladies, who worry because since there is not going to be a hole, then there is no water, and they worry a lot. Then they also thought about that they better come with their plate ready. With that, they spray it, they know that it drains, and that they will not have a flood problem. They are very practical pots to use. Around here we have cement pots, another very nice concept. Cement pots are a bit heavier, but that is a very nice decoration accessory too. It all depends on taste, on the environment. It all depends on how you want to arrange your space. These are perfect flower pots. This pot has the advantage of not bringing the drain, but if for any reason you found that the plant was flooded and that, definitely there is no salvation, extract a cork and put the cork only where the finger is placed. Press and the cork will come out. Then the plant is going to drain, in case it has a lot of water. There are practical modern pots, easy to handle, and without complications. It is a matter of learning to take care of the irrigation. There are pots like the ones we have always used throughout our lives, the clay pot, the other cement pots. This is used a lot for indoors and outdoors because there is the cement one, there is the clay one, to make very large planters too, because larger structures can be made. Well, now I am going to show you, after showing, how these plants look so that they can be adapted. Once we choose the pot and we choose our plant, here we have the results. For instance, this is a broadleaf jade. I love it. They are not delicate at all. They support the sun, they have little water, and here we have it in a structure called a drop of cement. It is a pot that is not very wide. It is narrow in height to the plant and can be complemented with an accessory that is an iron support, perfect to place at the entrances of the house or in a path of a plot. They are not problematic at all. They endure the sun and little water. They are perfect. Here I have, for example, an accessory that is a kettle, or we specifically call it a kettle. We use it a lot to make arrangements with succulents or to place bonsai, and we give it a height with the supports. They are perfect for indoors, perfect for outdoors. They use them in all the environments that we want. It's really about aesthetics and the creativity that you are willing to work with. What does this philodendron tell me, for example? It is a philodendron that is accompanied by a showcase peperomia, an indoor arrangement where there is very good light, good heat. With an arrangement in one of these corners, next to the sofa or diving some spaces. It can also be accompanied with a support or without drain, because it is high enough so that it doesn't drain and cause. This is another decorative accessory that is being used a lot, the foil pots. With the sheet support accessory, we can place some indoor plants without much problem. This is the case of an anthurium, which is adorned with the stones at the base of the pot. They don't really take up a lot of space. They are not those large matters that fill up with a lot of earth, but they look good in very simple spaces. They are very small pots that can be handled anywhere we have at home. These pots, also in copper, come in black, white, the color that you like the most. These pots too. The truth is that they do not have the drain, they do not even bring the hole. They are very prolonged irrigations of 8 to 10 days. You don't have to water them so often, as in the case of anthurium, they decorate very beautifully. because they bloom. So we do not need to buy flower arrangements, but a good arrangement of plants that sets us very well. As we have this, also we have like the flower plants that we can place in the pots. To summarize, the idea is that each space has a perfect place for every plant. Our creativity is where we want to locate a plant, what space we have, and there we will achieve it to have a good plant. This is it for today with the topic of indoor plants. I hope it has been useful for you a lot. I remind you, we are located at kilometer 5.5 via Subacota. Here you will find a large assortment of indoor plants for shade, for dark. Come to be able to attend you.